Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us today for our latest People to People talent webinar, Taking the Next Step of Your Career in Perth. I'm Kim, the P2P Western Australian Managing Director, and I'm joined today by our Perth recruitment experts, Amandine, Liam, and Rachel. This 1 hour webinar will cover job seekers' most common challenges, how to overcome them, and how you can use these insights to be able to take the next step of your career in Perth. We'll start by taking a look at the employment and job market in Perth before exploring interview preparation, how to identify and then market your transferable skills, how to manage returning to the workforce before finishing it up with an interactive Q&A session with our team of recruitment experts. So if you have any questions throughout today's show about anything we've talked about, please leave a comment and we'll answer it at the end of today's webinar. Let's start off our talent webinar by having a look at what's been happening in the Perth market. So the WA market. Okay, so the WA market remained steady despite a number of economic challenges. The unemployment rate fell to 3.3% in September, which was the lowest rate we've seen in WA in the past 12 months, which was equal lowest in the country with New South Wales. Fortunately for us in WA, we've been supported by an increase in employment in mining and construction. According to the Departments of Jobs, Tourism, Science and Innovation, the annual inflation rate for Perth was above the national average at 5.8% for the September quarter. We do have a few stats here that Jacob will share for us as well. Looking at job vacancies across WA. The unemployment rate here. Industries. Perfect. So we're now going to be joined by Amandine Angelica, who is going to discuss with us interview preparation.
Hi, good afternoon. So, okay. Yes, I'm going to video. Hi, good afternoon. So here I have a few tips for you to prepare at best for your interview. If you prepare it, you just increase your chances of success. It's simple as that. It also takes some of the pressure and the stress away. Better to be prepared. I don't know if the sound is going to load for you, but anyway, before the interview, there are actually quite a few steps that you can do to be prepared at best. So one of them being researching the company you're going to be meeting with, obviously on their website, on LinkedIn, on their presence, looking at what are they doing, what are they working on currently, is there any specific project, what is happening for them. Some of their competitors as well. You could research and have a better idea of the market. The people you are meeting with, you can find them on the company website, but also on who they are. So are they been since a long time in the same company? Are they did they got other roles within the company? Did they evolve within the same business? Have they been there a long time? Talk to your recruiter if you work with one. Obviously, we have some insights regarding the business, what challenges they have, what exciting projects they're working on. We can give you some background also of the person and their personality. So it's always a really good thing to have a chat with us. Now, regarding social media, I will suggest that have a look on obviously their Google review of the company, their presence on LinkedIn, but also have a look on yours. They're going to do the same on the other side. If your profile is public, it will be accessible for them to have a look at. So just something to be mindful for. And then one of the things that we advise candidates to really really prepare ahead of time, and we will really brief you on that if you had an interview with us, is the competency-based question type of thing. So the questions are, for example, give me an example of a situation where what is the result, how did you handle it? You can find quite a lot of those examples online. We can also provide you with some, but if you have those examples ready, that make it way easier during the interview to roll with it. And also questions. So at the end of the interview, if it went well for you, and if you feel this role is really attracting to you, it's always good to finish yourself by a question. It can be about the business, the challenge, or the person, or the culture. We can also give you some advice on those, but always good to have them ready to go for you. Now, on the day of the interview, one of the element to be mindful of, we touch base always briefly on it, is personal hygiene. It starts to be hot here in Perth today, about 30 degrees. You might have to walk to get there. Just make sure, if you need to, you have anything to freshen up, even water. Make sure if you need to drink before you get into the meeting, freshen up if needed. Dress for your market. If it's corporate, you need to be corporate. Don't hesitate to wear a blazer if needed. It also, you represent yourself, so obviously your image is important. When you get into the meeting and the person's going to sit you in, they might the water. First of all, that will avoid you to spill. That can happen, and that brings a lot of stress and awkward situation. So just take it to the water. And like I said, if you have water with you, you can also drink. Be yourself, but yeah, don't try to take the time if needed to have a breathe and think about finish the interview with some question of your own if you like the interview and the company, and it will always bring a good finish to the interview if you handle that part yourself, if you finish by yourself asking question about them. And then one last point that is kind of linked with preparing the interview, which is after the interview really, is about after the interview, when they might be or degrees or else, have all those ready on your computer, ready to go, so then you get very nice email. I one, and that was a really positive interview. We always and then thank them for their time in that LinkedIn message. And it will also be good to follow up. So you can follow up with your recruiter if you work with one. So how did this interview went? And if you go on your own, follow up with them with an email after a few days if you haven't heard from them, see where they're at with your applications. And that's all from me from today. Please ask any question at the end if you have any.
Thanks so much, Amandine. Some really good points there. And I think little things that people don't think of, like social media and making sure all of that's private, as I know that we've definitely come across some issues or some things that candidates probably wouldn't want shared with the potential interviewer as well. So yes, if you have any further questions about interview preparation for Amandine, then please leave a comment and we will answer them live at the end of this Q&A session. We are going to continue along our career journey and be joined by Liam Sharples, who's going to talk about identifying and marketing your transferable skills.
Awesome. Hi there, team. So I'm Liam. I specialise within operations and supply chain recruitment for people to people here in Perth. Basically, what I wanted to do today is just share some insights into a crucial aspect of job hunting, and that's identifying and showcasing your transferable skills on your resume or in interviews. So, what is the importance of transferable skills? Well, in today's ever-changing dynamic job market, transferable skills are more valuable than ever. As it is a very active market currently, employers will use things like your transferable skills to shortlist candidates that match up with the role they're hiring for. They'll search for specific individuals who bring versatile skills to the table and who are adaptable to different roles. And in some cases, if you're moving industries, they'll see what someone can bring to the table from a different environment. So to give you an idea of what these transferable skills are, basically they're versatile abilities that you have that can be applied in various contexts. Think of things like communication, teamwork, problem solving, and adaptability as some prime examples. So before diving into a job search, it's a good idea to conduct your own small self-assessment. Reflect on your past experiences, challenges faced, and actions taken in previous jobs or other relative areas of your life. You can identify these transferable skills from your work, also volunteer activities, and even hobbies and personal projects. For example, I find myself being able to apply a lot of aspects of teamwork and good communication through my background from playing rugby. So, just to give a few practical ideas and tips for your transferable skills, make sure you're reviewing past jobs, experiences, and projects. Make sure you're identifying challenges faced and then actions taken. And always recognize skills used in volunteer work, hobbies, or personal projects as well. So just to give a bit of an idea about some real world examples, we can think of communication as one. Effectively communicated project updates across the team. Also teamwork. You're able to collaborate with a diverse team to achieve project milestones, or even problem solving, where you've implemented a solution that reduced project turnaround time by 20%. So when we're thinking about tailoring our resume with our transferable skills, we need to think about how we can integrate those into our resume. So that would be creating a dedicated skills section, giving you an option to clearly outline and identify those skills, and not just identify, but explain them a bit more thoroughly. Using things like action verbs to highlight those accomplishments as well, to really make them stand out and get somebody to view them as well. And then also aligning your skills with job descriptions, so that cater to the specific role. So making sure that you're touching on things that are relevant to the position that you're applying for. So make sure that when you're incorporating these transferable skills, you're also able to do that into a cover letter as well. So being able to weave these skills into narratives aligned with the company's needs is basically doing things like researching the company's background online, going through the job description or the ad that you've seen, or even from other people that you know that may have worked there. Being able to get that information and then align that with your past skills is very, very key to being able to get those across. And also, as mentioned before, being able to provide examples of how these skills have contributed to your success in past work or other activities is very good for presenting to somebody. So just a few kind of key reminders to remember when going forward is be very specific and make sure to quantify your achievements. So basically making sure that you get everything across and it's understandable what your skills have done for you and how you're able to achieve things with them. And then also tailor the skills to the job that you've done. So make sure that they're all correct and also they refer to the current role that you're looking ahead for. And then a few things to remember not to do. Using things like generic language. Remember to use the right words and let the employer know what you're talking about. And never exaggerate or overlook the relevance to the job. So you could have skills applicable to your role that you weren't even thinking of or could overlook. So that's always important to remember. So just to kind of wrap up and finish up with, remember that your transferable skills, they're your passport to success in today's job market. And just remember to tailor your skills to showcase your unique value to any potential employers. Now, if you have any other questions around that, remember, just feel free to ask at the end. And finally as well, if you're looking for any new opportunities in Perth within operations or supply chain, whether that be permanent or on a temporary or contract basis, please feel free to reach out to me on any of the contact details below, or reach out to me on LinkedIn as well, which would just be my name, Liam Sharples too.
Thanks so much, Liam. Some really good points in there, and especially throwing back to your rugby experience as well. You wouldn't necessarily think of rugby being, the match for recruitment, but there's so many skills in that as well that can transfer. So, yeah, some very valuable insights there. So if you have any other questions about identifying and marketing your transferable skills, please leave a comment and we'll answer them at the end of our session. Lastly, we're joined by Rachel Adams to discuss returning to the workforce. Unfortunately, I think we're having some issues with sound, so we're not able to hear Rachel at the moment. So I'm not sure what's happening there, but I know Rachel has lots of valuable insights that she can share with us about returning to the workforce. We will just have to leave any questions. If you are thinking about returning to the workforce after a break, send them through to us. We can answer them live in this session, or Rachel, I'm sure, will be more than happy to come back to you to give you some advice and tips as well. So throughout this webinar, we've been receiving some messages from you regarding some of the subjects that we've covered and how we can make the most of taking your career to the next step in Perth. So I'm just going to see whether there's any specific questions that we can respond live for you right now. So we have one here, someone wanting to look for a new job but currently overseas, thinking about coming to Perth. Would you say looking for a new job at this time of year before Christmas is better than after the New Year? I would say it's really dependent on the type of industry that you're working in. So there's some clients that we have who are wanting to get people lined up, ready to start for the new year now, and others who are just parking any recruitment until January. So without knowing all the context of your skills, it would be hard to say, but it also really depends on the employer. So I wouldn't say wait until the new year, start now, because you might get lucky. Next question we have here. So what skills would you consider to be more valuable than others when changing industry? So for example, I'm in accounting but wanting to transition to another industry. I might throw this one to you, Liam, given that we were just talking about transferable skills.
Yeah, no. So in looking at that would all depend again on what industry you might be looking at getting into. So you could look at things that might be, to start with, some rather general things. So whether that be, ability for, I'm not so sure on the accounting side, but, things like communication throughout the team, how you've used that and applied that within that setting, and depending on the job that you're looking at, how that might work within a new industry, just depending on what that is. Again, it mainly just comes back to what you're looking at, and sometimes it's as basic as just the small little things, like I've mentioned before with the communication and teamwork. Those are quite broad. So if you're able to display good examples of that, I think that's something that would be very helpful just to begin with.
Yeah, some good points, Liam. And I think, in accounting, it's really important that you have a strong attention to detail as well, as you're dealing with, numbers and money. So I'm sure that transfers into a lot of different industries as well. So really depends on exactly what it is that you're looking for, but there's definitely lots of skills in there that can transfer into other things depending on what you're interested in. Next question is from Isabella. So I've just moved to Australia, but back home, and I had many contract jobs for a few weeks. Should I bother to include all of these on my CV or mention during my interview? So, Amandine, I guess you've been in a maybe similar situation and in relocating yourself to Australia and what to include in the CV. Are you able to give Isabella some pointers?
Of course. So I would say in a general matter, it's better to add your past experience rather than a gap on your resume, because people are always going to wonder what you've been doing, even if it's one. If you had a few contract job and it's taking a lot of space, I would just resume that in one sentence or two and saying various contract roles such as reception, etc., whatever roles you've been doing and the dates. So then people know that you actually been working, or people know that you actually been traveling, whatever it is you've been doing, but avoiding gaps on resume at all costs. And then depending on which area you want to be working in, I will develop, for example, if you wanted to get into an office space and an admin role, even if you temp for a week or two in that space, I will develop where did you work then, and what did you do, what was the main task. But otherwise, keep it just general and with one line what you've done in the past.
Yeah, excellent. I definitely agree with that. It's better than having gaps on the CV. Isabella's also asked, would it be considered inappropriate to reach out or connect with someone on LinkedIn after already applying? I don't think it's inappropriate. I think it shows that you're proactive, and if it's a role where they receive lots of applications, it could be a good way to stand out as well, as long as you're not messaging them looking for a response or answer on your application straight away. I think maybe just a quick courtesy message just to let them know that you have sent through an application. Just thought that you would connect with them on LinkedIn as well, and hope to hear back soon, and just something along those lines, keeping it simple. Our next question is from Arav. So, what industries do you think will be easier to find work in next year compared to 2023? Oh, that is a big question. So I think we looked at some of our growing industries earlier on that were shared with us from Jacob. And I know healthcare is definitely up there in terms of growth. I know that for us in WA as well, mining and also construction have seen a huge amount of growth in those areas. But it still depends on the roles within those industries as well at the time. So it's hard to say definitively, but I would say those particular industries are the ones that are seeing growth at the moment. But in terms of what we're seeing on our desks at the moment, we have a very broad range of positions. So it's not slowing down from us. We're seeing lots of business development and sales positions, very strong in administration with reception, admin, EA, PA roles, through to HR. We've got marketing positions. So a bit of a mix across the board. And I don't think WA is slowing down anytime soon. Okay, I think that's all the questions that we have for today, but more than happy to answer any other questions that you have for us in the future. So if you are looking for your next career opportunity, or perhaps wanting to take your job search to the next level, our dedicated team here at People to People can help you. So whether you're looking for your dream job or you're needing to fill a gap in your team urgently, our team of recruitment experts are here to help. So yeah, that's it for today's webinar. If you have any further questions or want to learn more about what we've talked about here today, or have those questions for Rachel, who sadly we weren't able to get on, then yeah, please drop us a message or get in contact via our contact details. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully we'll speak to you soon. Bye.